All right, well, thank you so much. That was a little bit better. Let's see if this afternoon we can actually get it so that the list goes down automatically. All right, so now it's time for the Ignite Iten session, and I'm going to bring Alex up here, who's going to fill in as the MC during the Ignite sessions, and he's going to describe to you what it is and then introduce each of the Ignite Iten speakers. Come on up, Alex.
Thank you very much. I have some big shoes to fill here, so I hope I can fulfill all your emceeing needs temporarily. So first off, I know you all probably have bruised hands already from all the clapping, but please put your hands together, take them apart, put them together, you know, the whole clapping thing. For every single person who has made this happen, it is an incredible event, so go for it. This is when I would normally do the "that wasn't loud enough" kind of thing, but they told me I'm on a strict schedule, so I'll be succinct here. So, how many of you have seen one of our Ignite Iten presentations before? It's a good amount of hands. But for those of you who don't know, the way it works is each one of those wonderful presenters over there has the opportunity to give a 5-minute presentation. They will have slides that are 15 seconds each, that will advance automatically. So no matter what happens on this stage, that slide will keep going. So if people try to carry something on and fall over, that slide's going to roll right over them. As an example, to kind of give you an idea of how it works, it would be a lot like when I think it was 16, and I left my car in neutral on a slight decline. I chased after it, but the car kept going no matter the result. So hopefully this goes a little bit better than that did, because my parents were not happy and my bank account was not either. But I will take this opportunity right now before I pass it over to say, if you are not currently on the mailing list for the IT Gulf Coast organization, please do so. We will send you events such as lunch and learns, such as networking events, such as I-10 Wires, all kinds of awesome things that go on, put on by the IT Gulf Coast, as well as our partners at the Florida West Economic Development Alliance and CSRA. So on behalf of all of them, I would like to take the opportunity to introduce our first speaker, who you've seen many times. So hopefully I can tell you something about him that you may not know. Paul works in the HR group at Navy Federal's Pensacola Operations Center, where he helps leaders build human capital insights. He earned a bachelor's degree in mathematics from the University of Vermont, his master's in business administration from Sage Graduate School, and has earned his SPHR, Senior Professional in Human Resources, certification. Paul has over 25 years of experience as a leader and business owner using his IT and HR professional talents. As an entrepreneur, he helped start and sell 3 different organizations. Paul currently lives in Gulf Breeze, if you're planning on stalking him, with his wife Lisa and his 2 gator adult children. Now, I did ask him to clarify before this, they are children that are human that go to UF. He does not have adult gators as children. If you were all as curious as I was, I did have to clarify. So without further ado, please welcome Paul Carney.
All right, there you go. There's the slide. You heard a little bit about me. What I'm going to talk about with you today is a subject called human versus robots. How you will win. Taking over. Machine language, AI, all that stuff's happening out there. This is what you're going to be replaced by. So if you see Wally talking with his co-buddy there and talks about, do you worry about your job being replaced? He says no, because he only drinks coffee. Look what happened. What do you want to be? You don't want to be a Wally. So what are you going to do to get away from being a Wally? Well, when you look at, in 1999, we had the movie called The Matrix. And that's where humans battled machines and battled software programs. It was pretty prescient, wasn't it, back in 1999 when they started thinking about all this. So what happened there is Neo discovered that he had to battle them in order to win for humans, who were basically batteries at the time, right? So the times are changing. What happens? That technology revolution is just part of the industrial revolution. Things are happening. Tasks are being automated. You are going to be replaced, because if you look back at the days of the printing press, the automobiles, production of steel and plastic, it gets tougher. I got my first handheld Casio computer right there, the little calculator, back in the 1970s. It was the first time I'd ever had something that powerful to compute with in my hand, and then got that AT&T PC6300 in the 80s. That was great. What happened in the 90s? The invention of the World Wide Web. In fact, we heard Jeff Mann say yesterday, on January 23rd, 1993, was the advent of the MCSA Mosaic browser. And then 10 years ago, we had the iPhone. Don't need to go in there. You know exactly what that is because you use it all the time. Assisted intelligence, we see that with GPS. We've got augmented intelligence where elevators stay at certain floors throughout the day based on the volume. And then you've got autonomous intelligence, which is the future, things like self-driving vehicles. Your limbic brain, that's the fight or flight. So when your livelihood, someone's going to replace your job, it kicks in that limbic brain while your prefrontal cortex is actually trying to reason, what are you going to do? There's a better way to do this. I'm saying stay or flight. So read this word problem. John buys 2 green apples for 50 cents a piece, 3 red ones for 25 cents. Dakota gets on a commuter train heading west or heading east for 2 hours. What color's Mary's dress? You get that. Computers don't. So what do? You've got to figure out your human capital value. You have value. If you can be replaced by an algorithm, then your value is minimal. So you've got to figure out how to adapt or lose. And to do that, we come up with a currency value. So this thing, the AE is an old Latin character called the ash. And that's what it is. So it's the A and E, ASCII 198 for any of you tech geeks that want to know what it is. So let's look at 3 characteristics of the letter A that fit this. Acumen, making good judgments, being a subject matter expert. Your awareness is your impact on your environment. And your ability, which are your skills and aptitudes. We then look at the E's. And the E's will tell us, as the E's come up, now, engagement. You can't just sit on the sideline. You've got to get involved. You've got to be out there. You've got to have that strength and confidence to be empowered to make a difference in your life. And the EQ, or EI sometimes it's called, emotional intelligence, is how you identify and manage your stuff, your emotions with other people's. We have a problem that we are actually confirmation-seeking thinkers and ego affirmation-seeking defensive reasoners. That's our human tendencies get in the way, and we've got to figure out a way around that. And there's 3 things you're going to do to help battle against the robots. You've got to be curious. You've got to figure out how to learn and build on the experiences, and look at what Sir Isaac Newton. Everyone saw the apples fall, but he was the one who finally said why. Second thing, empathy. You've got to have empathy. We all have empathy. That's what's going to separate us from the robots. You've got to care. You've actually got to be able to convince and inspire and motivate people. And the number 1 is creativity. You've got to actually be creative. Don't create a linear path in your life. You've got to figure out how to bob and weave, how to be a little different. Take the road not taken, as Robert Frost would say. And then imagine, design, innovate, and dream. Those are things you can do that robots don't do today. Peter Drucker had a great way of saying it. So efficiency should be delegated to machines, whereas effectiveness is a human pursuit. So what you've got to do is add on to your technical capabilities with that philosophy and become a technical philosopher. Or Rosie the robot or Sonny from iRobot is going to take your job. Which one of them do you want to take it? Because if you don't keep up, that's going to happen to you. So in the end, the key thing is you've got to learn, you've got to grow, you've got to reinvent yourself every once in a while. So in the end, it comes down to move your ash or you're going to be left behind. Thank you.